Welcome back, everybody, to Jack 2.
Sweeping for suspects.
Of course you're sweeping for suspects. You're always sweeping for suspects.
You miss us quite clearly in front of your face.
Quite frankly, yes. So, yay. We're actually getting really close to the end here, boys and girls, because now we have to go and do, I think it's the final race. So this is going to be our final confrontation with Errol. Oh, and instantly cheering. It's not like we could hear it outside or anything like that.
I want more than just to win, eco-freak. I want you.
Greetings, racers! Today, your nerve and skill will be tested for our amusement. If any of you should by some small chance beat our grand champion, Harold, then you will be awarded a month's supply of eco! And a short tour of my palace to see how the other half look. Good luck, and die bravely. Ready? Get set!
Who wants a prize like that?
Go!
Well, Jack does, because he wants to get into the palace. But aside from that, yeah, exactly.
That was close.
Excuse me. So we are off, and this race is probably one of the harder ones, and it's just because Errol is in it, and Errol has a grudge to settle.
I imagine he cheats.
A little bit. Well, it's not that he cheats. He goes to Destruction Derby on your butt if you ever try to get near it.
Right.
Which isn't necessarily cheating.
So it's not called cheating. Deal with it.
Exactly. It's called Destruction Derby. Deal with it. You might be familiar with it from its run on the PlayStation 1.
This just reminds me of Shadows of the Empire.
Pretty much, yeah. And you can hear Errol trash talking Jack. Like, bye-bye.
Out of my way. Watch out.
And it's usually always Errol that you're competing, at least in this, if you're second. Then you're having your showdown with Errol. And here's the thing. He actually, like, where the other AI racers just don't have a clue in some cases, Errol's very smart about it. So you actually do have to, you can't just, like, park your brain and do this. Otherwise, Errol will destroy you.
What happens if you lose this race?
Just have to do it again. It's plot crucial, Andrea. Jack has to win. He's the main protagonist.
I'm surprised you don't take the shortcut, the second shortcut there.
It's a little hard to do. And here's the thing, like, these vehicles act just like the cars out in the main map. So if you take enough damage, it will explode and you will lose. Oh, and is this going to be it? Okay, we are in first, and it's the final lap, so we have to maintain it this time. Oh, Errol. Okay, we're in third. That's not horrible. Except this time we are not taking any chances. We are just making our way to the finish as fast as possible. And there you go! We are the grand champion.
You win!
Perfect!
Thank you! Thank you very much! Mwah! I love my puppet!
A brave man of the... And who is this worthy opponent? In my world, good men are bought, broken. So which is it then?
Surprise.
What?
Just a little closer. We need to talk.
Fool! Don't you get it? It's over, Jack. All the heroes died long ago. Only survival remains, by whatever means. This city is mine. These lives are mine. This war is mine. And in war, people die. Kill them.
Look out! I win, Jack.
That may not have been the smartest move, Errol.
After them!
So first things first. Yeah, how could you not know it was Jack, Baron Praxis? You were looking down on the racers. You could see him. You could see his face. And no, he never knew.
Plot development, Jack and Daxter style.
Exactly. And I thought you might at least appreciate the fact that from Baron Praxis we kind of got a Bane line.
Yeah.
It is war. And in war, people die.
And,
What's really sad, too, is, like, you're calling this one the Dark Jak Rises.
Yeah.
I'm playing a little bit into Jak 3. It's the first time I've ever done it. That one is the Dark Jak Rises. Mainly because it's set out in the desert. So... You almost expect for the big crowd to start screaming, rise, 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 rise. Alright, so now we have our palace pass. And now we can further the story a little bit. And by further, I mean we can actually go into the throne room, I think? Yes. There we go. So here is the throne room of Baron Praxis.
I shouldn't have trusted you.
Back where we started, huh?
Don't play with me. All along you've been trying to undermine our war with the metalheads. Whose side are you on?
Listen, Ashlyn, your father's planning something terrible. And if
My father can destroy the metalhead armies once and for all.
he cracks open the precursor stone, the explosion will kill all of us. Don't you get it?
That's right. Not so hard, huh? Even I can figure this one out.
Don't you move. Vin, come in.
What? What? I've got my hands full here, you know?
You know all about the precursor stone myth, right?
Sure. I did my economic energy doctorate on Precurian theoretical physics. Why?
What would happen if the precursor stone were to be, say, violently cracked open?
Great. As if I didn't have enough to keep me awake at night, you give me one more thing to dread. Thank you very much. If someone actually had the stone, according to my calculations, a runaway ego surge and cracking it open would theoretically destroy everything.
Everything?
All things. Every single thing. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go throw up. Bye-bye.
Trust me, Ashlyn. We have to stop him.
I'll try to find out more. But right now, my father is meeting crew at a secret weapons factory near the dig. Here, that's my top-level security pass. It'll get you into the factory, but it won't get you back out. We never had this conversation.
I swear, with Ashlyn's character, like, they do everything they can possibly do in her actions to make her sway her hips. Alright? Just holstering her gun, sway the hips.
Could you imagine if she was played by Megan Fox?
Oh, she's the Megan Fox of the game, as far as I'm concerned.
You know, it just kind of clicked with me, but the voice of what's his name?
Baron Praxis?
Not Baron Praxis. The one who just said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go throw up. It'd be a horrible tragedy."
Vin,
yeah. You know, his voice kind of reminds me of Tony Shalhoub's performance in Men in Black.
Yeah, kind of. Actually, that's kind of appropriate, since he kind of sounds like that, and the character is like Monk.
Yeah.
Where he's always constantly afraid of stuff. Alright, so now we actually have to escape the palace, because we're not supposed to be here, even though we won the race and we can technically be here.
Well, we are wanted, in fairness.
We are wanted, although apparently Baron Praxis cannot spot us out in a crowd to save his life, literally. And this is one of the more difficult ladder missions, just because of all the guards that are around. And also because of another element, which we will see in a little bit. So it's not absolutely horrible, but if you don't get it right, this also suffers from checkpoint syndrome.
Checkpoint starvation.
Yep. I actually like that better. Checkpoint starvation. There are none.
Learn your tropes, Adam. Learn your tropes.
My apologies. My apologies. So, you wouldn't know to do that, but you have to do that. You have to blow out the window so that you can use that like a grinding rail.
And don't fall.
Well, I actually just did that to kind of prove the point.
Uh-huh, sure you did.
He just wanted to.
So yeah, you have to grind on the rail that was supporting the window. And then eventually we actually will have to shoot down chandeliers that we also have to use the hoverboard on to grind them.
In other words, you meant to do that.
I meant to do that. There you go, we blew out the window early, so we don't have to worry about it now. Now, some people might actually criticize me and say I'm using too much ammo. And I would actually counter that argument with a very simple one. If this game could aim properly, I wouldn't have to abuse it. It's kind of like Shadows of the Empire, where you have to fire a few shots before he actually starts pointing the gun in the direction. Okay, so this is technically the halfway point of the level, but there are no checkpoints.
No checkpoints, period.
Period.
Wow.
If you die, you go back to the beginning.
Is there a song that you can sing that would about going back to the beginning?
The only one that comes to my mind is the one from Anastasia.
I can't think of any songs, I just think of Digimon the movie. Go back to
the beginning. It's kind of surprising you and I both kind of went there.
Oh, maybe you can sing the song from Sound of Music.
I don't know any of the songs from The Sound of Music.
Oh, you have not seen The Sound of Music.
I refuse to see The Sound of Music.
Okay, and why hasn't Andrea forced you yet?
Because I would refuse her. There are just some movies I have no intention of seeing in my life, and Sound of Music is one of them.
Dude, why won't you see The Sound of Music?
It doesn't sound to me like it's something I would be interested in. It doesn't sound remotely entertaining. And here's the thing, I love musicals, but...
Well, I'm secure enough in my masculinity to say that The Sound of Music is a fine movie.
I love it that that's where you went. That's immediately why you thought I don't like it. No, I'm fine with that concept. Alright, so that's technically the end of the level. We are out of the palace, or getting out.
Then which musical do you like?
I like a few.
Access granted.
Okay, so just to kind of get back into the plot. So Ashlyn gave us this...
You were right, Jack. What my father's doing is wrong. I
Thanks,
need to
Ashlyn.
help fix this. If you get to the weapons factory, maybe we can stop him. I'll meet you there.
So Ashlyn has given us this kind of Black Ops pass for an underground weapons lab. So that is really where we are going next to get back the precursor stone.
A little surprised we don't have the Insta-1 at all.
Just because we invaded the palace?
Yeah.
In a couple of missions, that won't even matter. So... But you're exactly right. We should have a walk-up level right now. If anything, just for the ruckus we caused at the stadium.
And breaking the windows.
I think breaking the windows is the least of our offenses. Invading the palace. You can technically justify attempting to assassinate Baron Praxis.
We ran a few red lights.
Well, there's no such thing as a red light, so I think we're in the clear there. No speeding tickets for us.
For this door. Access granted.
Okay, so this is the Black Ops lab. And it's just so quiet. What is around the corner? You know, I could have broken those with a punch. But shooting them was way more satisfying. And if people are kind of noticing a major pattern in the latter missions, it's that they're flooded with guards. It's because they are. Like, this is how Naughty Dog decided to implement difficulty. Is just putting a dozen more guards in an area.
Wasn't that the answer to every video game? When you want to amp the difficulty, just add more moves.
Well, in some cases, yes, and in some cases, no. Some people actually like to add different mechanics. But we are eventually going to come across an enemy that will spark some responses. I'm gonna say that right now. So I don't know why music is not running when I did this run, but it bugged out. Because when I did the dry run, there was music. Oh my gosh, Droidicons!
Droidicons!
Master Destroyers! Where are those Droidicons? Well, Lucasfilm was supposed to sue Naughty Dog. I guess they can't do it now.
Well, you probably couldn't because they don't put up shields if they straighten out there.
They're rolling on the ground! They become robots! That's a Droidicon! Or a Destroyer Droid.
Looks like George Lucas is gonna sue somebody.
Ooh, George Lucas gonna sue somebody! Or he should have sued somebody, because this game came out a couple of years ago.
Unless you like the name Clankers.
Only if you're going to do the clone voice. Because you need to talk about them clankers in that voice. Speaking of which, I actually haven't gotten around to watching Rebels, and I really do want to watch that thing.
Well, yeah, I'm still trying to finish up Clone Wars first of all.
Oh, yay. Platforming mechanics! And there's no switch to move it forward, so what you're going to have to do at this point is use the skateboard. Tony Hawk this thing up. Yay! Yay, a precursor orb that I have not been painstakingly collecting. Gee, I wonder what that green goop would do. It's green eco, right? It'll heal us. It'll heal us and spit us back out, right, Alex? Right? He doesn't even want to say it. Will it turn us into the Joker and therefore we are permanently anchored to the Batman universe?
I like the idea of it turning us into the Joker.
Well, I guess that just depends. Which Joker?
Well, if it's the vat of toxic chemicals, then that would be Jack Nicholson's Joker.
See, and I would want to go with the Heath Ledger Joker. Because why so serious? Why so serious? Alright, this is actually a point where I do think I died. Because I did not judge the jump properly. But, thankfully, checkpoint right there. So I didn't have to worry about that too much, huh? So while we are making our way over, if people did not know, Alex actually missed this week's episode of Geek News Reviews and Opinions. And there was a story that I wanted to bring Alex in on to see what he thought of. So, is it safe to say you are not necessarily happy with the upcoming Sony Pictures Sonic the Hedgehog?
No.
So, would this make you happy that Sega is actually hiring a media consultant to look into making movies and TV of their other properties?
Well, I guess that means I can finally produce that Phantasy Star screenplay I wrote.
Well, the ones that they specifically pointed out were Altered Beast. They are considering that property. Streets of Rage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember the other ones. It's Altered Beast. Streets of Rage. Golden Axe is another one they're considering. To which, at that point, I just want a dwarf that actually comes out and says, "Buy my balls go!"
What are they gonna do with them?
They're hiring a media exec to consider whether or not to do them as movies or TV, where they would go best.
I can't imagine, but, you know.
You can't imagine?
I don't know. I never could imagine.
Well, that's because you guys didn't play those. Oh, and Shinobi.
I played Streets of Rage.
More droidicas!
And I played Golden Axe.
Yes, you have.
Just not very far, but maybe one of these days I should.
So what you're basically saying is you don't know how they would take those properties and make them into other media?
Well, I guess I should know. If I play the whole game through, maybe you might think differently, I suppose.
See, to me, where I have completed Golden Axe and I've gone through Streets of Rage, you know what? Those aren't horrible ideas for media.
It depends. I mean, no, I don't want to see Hollywood do them, but I like some.
Well, this is the prospect that's being talked about.
I know that there are some Golden Axe games made in the last several years that actually have that anime art style, so I think Golden Axe could easily fit into an anime universe.
Yeah.
So there, I could give that one a shot.
See, and I like the joke that Romney made, since Aldo and Alex both got stuck at work. It was just me and Romney last Saturday night, and I like what Romney actually came up with was, let's do a Hollywood version of Altered Beast and just like totally hash off of Clash of the Titans. In fact, let's go ahead and hire Anthony Hopkins for him to be the guy that says, "Rise from your grave." Rise from your grave. Come on, Clash of the Titans hired Liam Neeson only to say release the Kraken. So, let's do it with Anthony Hopkins. I'd pay for it. And then me and Romney actually said, well, we're in agreement at least on... I think we're in agreement at least on one other concept. If Uwe Boll's tied to any of them, then no.
Head for the hills.
No, don't even head for the hills. Head for the studio that hired him, and yeah. Demand your money back, or whatever. Okay, so
that actually works. Come on, people were protesting Michael Bay when he was first announced to do Transformers.
You mean the first movie?
Yeah, the very first Transformers movie. So.
The real protest didn't happen until the design started coming out. Because it was like, oh my gosh, the Autobots don't look even remotely similar to the way they looked. Or, no, Megatron came out first, and they were just screaming, he doesn't look like Megatron, and he doesn't turn into a gun! Guys, he hasn't turned into a gun for years. He mainly turns into ships or tanks.
Well, I think that was only Gen 1 where he did the gun thing.
Yes. He would transform into this, Desert Eagle gun. Starscream athlete had to hold him and shoot him. And for a little Desert Eagle, man, he certainly packed a freaking wallop. Alright, so this is supposed to be a major Gauntlet issue, but since I know how to... Gauntlet. Since if you step on it right, you can just activate them one at a time, it's not a huge thing. But I remember doing the dry run and activating all three. And it gets pretty crazy. Okay, and now we are at the end, and we are at where the Precursor Stone is. But we're gonna have to oh, wait, what are you doing here?
I knew you were special.
Your favorite character.
You, Jack.
Uh-huh. Why are you here?
You for making it this far. We've come a long way, eh?
Yeah, I'm getting real teary-eyed.
I love weapons. I love how they look, how they feel, even how they smell.
I think you need serious help.
My favorite was the impossibly powerful weapon Ma built to blast open the metal head nest. Poor fool died before he could use it. Ah, well. But I have a new favorite, the Piercer Bomb I've just completed. My masterpiece is powerful enough to crack open the Precursor Stone and release the untold energy inside. As soon as the Baron shows up with the stone, we'll hide it in the last shipment of Eco and deliver it to the Metalhead Nest. A surprise dessert, eh? Just take this gun upgrade and forget what you saw here.
Not this time, crew. I'm through being your hired gun.
Then it's war, isn't it?
And we're going to go ahead and end on this week. So, next week, Jack grows a conscience, which is something that hasn't happened. And we get to face off, finally, against Crew.